Time is the most intimate stranger you'll ever know. It lives inside of you. It lives inside every heartbeat. It lives inside every breath. And it lives inside every fleeting thought. But time isn't something you can hold or measure. It has no weight, it has no matter. And you certainly can't bargain with it on any terms but its own. We like to use phrases like having time or making time or killing time. And doing so, we act as if it's some kind of a possession we own or some sort of creature we can dominate. But in truth, time owns us. It moves through us the way a river cuts through the landscape. Time carves its own path. It erodes and deposits all around us. And it never once consults with us. It doesn't ask our permission. And at any given moment, time might feel a little viscous. You have a single afternoon spent waiting for news, a sleepless night of worry, a long drive even through flat farmland. It can make minutes feel like hours. And in those moments, your mind is desperate to speed time up. You're so trapped in the intensity of what's happening in the right now that every second feels excruciatingly amplified and elongated. Pain does this especially well. But so do things like anticipation and boredom. Think back to when you were in school. You stared at a classroom clock near the end of the day. This is an entirely different experience from now being an adult who glances up at the clock and measuring the exact same quantity of time, wondering where the morning went. In the moment, time can seem almost cruel. It has no hurry to it. It refuses to hurry. And yet those same hours compress with unbelievable speed once they've slipped into your memory. Looking backwards across a decade, and the years sort of fold together. They compress into just a handful of scenes. You have birthdays and arguments and maybe a particularly nice quiet evening. You have first steps, last words. And the long, slow days of early parenthood, when every night feels endless and every morning arrives too soon. You look back and they blur into a single memory. It's just a memory of exhaustion mixed in with a little tenderness. That summer that dragged on when you were 16 years old? Well, summers are just a brief flash of time by the time you hit 40. And it's one of time's quirks. Time slows when you want it to hurry, and it speeds up the instant you leave it behind. We live in many ways in a stretched present, but a compressed past. And this mismatch leaves us constantly surprised by how quickly everything moves. Once a moment's gone, it's gone, and it's gone with finality. There's no technology, there's no memory, there's no regret that can get that time back. You can't step twice into the same river. And the truth of that grows heavier with age. The particular way a light hit on a particular ball field on a particular spring afternoon. The exact tone of your child's laughter at 3 years old. The specific weight of a hand in your hand during a hospital visit. Those things don't ever come back. They don't return. They're gone. You can take pictures, you can take videos, you can have some semblance of what it sort of looked like in the moment, but they replicate the moment. They don't recreate the moment. The sounds, the smells, what's happening just outside of the frame, it's all lost. You can't visit the past. It's a place that's been permanently closed. All we can do is carry forward incomplete memories drawn from imperfect recollection. Time doesn't pause while we argue. It doesn't pause while we sleep. It doesn't pause while we're distracted by your phone screen or ambition or grief. Time continues through the nights you wish would never end, and it forces you to face the days you wish would never begin. Time moves while we're unconscious in surgery, while you're lost in prayer or meditation, and even while entire nations are torn apart in war or even at peace. There are periods like long illnesses, deep depression, even the first month of new parenthood, when you lose track of calendars altogether. The sun still rises. The seasons still turn. The moon still waxes and wanes because time isn't malicious. It doesn't mean you any harm. It actually doesn't care about you at all. Time came before you, and it will outlast you. It will continue long after you're gone. The clocks will keep ticking, but they'll be ticking in empty rooms. The children in your home will grow to adults who they themselves become parents and then eventually grandparents. Empires, kingdoms, nations will rise and fall. The molecules that make up your body that once answered to your name, they'll disperse. They'll become something entirely unrecognizable. Time won't notice the difference. It's not a morbid thought, it's a clarifying one. The continuity of time beyond our individual existence strips away any illusion that the world revolves around you, around your personal and private drama. But time also quietly insists that whatever meaning you must find must be made inside this brief little window you're given. Because that window is going to close, whether you're finished or not. We waste time with a kind of breathtaking callousness. We scroll through endless feeds on social media, and we're looking at other people's curated moments. And our own moments are wasted. We postpone conversations that matter. We don't take trips we've always wanted to take. We withhold apologies we owe. We keep to ourselves declarations of love that maybe you're too proud or too frightened to make. We treat the future as some sort of inexhaustible reservoir that you can always come to and draw from. But we don't realize at the moment that every day spent in distraction is a day subtracted from the total. The wasted time is rarely dramatic. It's just a slow accumulation of small surrenders. Another hour scrolling on the phone, another evening of half attention, another weekend deferred until things calm down. Well, things rarely calm down. The calm you're waiting for is often just the quiet that arrives when the people we meant to spend time with are no longer around. Nowhere is the scarcity of time more sharply felt than in the years we have with our children. The window is so much narrower than we realize while you're inside of it. From birth till the day they leave for college or leave the house for their own independent life, usually around 18 years. That's fewer than 7,000 days. That's fewer than 1,000 weekends. A pretty significant portion of that time is spent sleeping or in school or hanging out with friends. The hours of genuine, undivided presence actually is quite small by comparison. Toddlers who once clung to your legs, they become teenagers and they close their bedroom doors. The child who needed help tying his shoes one year is asking for the car keys in the blink of an eye. Parents often discover far too late that the phase they found exhausting was also the phase they would later give almost anything to revisit, because the quantity of time is limited. The quality is what you can still choose. Even the very best of intentions collide with the ordinary and sometimes harsh demands of things like work or just fatigue or the simple fact that children grow on their own clocks, not ours. There's a particular ache that comes from realizing how little of that shared time remains. You look at a picture or video of a 4-year-old, and the adult standing next to you seems like a stranger who somehow replaced that little person you once snuggled to sleep. The days of building block towers or reading the same picture book for the 100th time, of answering endless why questions. Nobody announced the end of those days. They simply became yesterday. Then they became last year. And then finally, they become a memory that surfaces at unexpected moments and leaves a hollow place in the deepest part of your soul. And time's nature is merciless, but it's also clarifying. It won't slow no matter how badly you want it to. It won't go back no matter how badly you regret it's gone. And it won't wait for us to become ready. It moves with or without your attention, before you arrive and after you leave. The only power we possess is the power to decide inside that narrow span of time you're gifted, what will you notice? What will you protect? And what will you let slip away without a fight? The present moment is the only one that's ever truly yours. You can't get yesterday and you're not guaranteed tomorrow. For now, anyway, it's right here. You can fill it with distraction or you can fill it with attention. Time itself, it's not going to judge the choice. It'll simply continue on, carrying whatever we made of it into the long forgetting that awaits for us all.